Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the International Criminal Court, ICC, the International Criminal Court. Well, if you've been watching lately, for the past 3 weeks or so, Joe Biden and the White House was calling for Putin to be tried for war crimes in Ukraine. You kid me. Yes, they were actually calling for him to be charged and tried at the ICC for war crimes. But if you know, the United States is not a part of the, or is not a member of the ICC, the International Criminal Court. They are not. The three biggest powerful nations in the world are not a part of the ICC. Reasons for that is because they want to control the other smaller nations. China. United States, China, and Russia. The three big nations, not a part. You should ask yourself why they are not a part. Because these people are always talking about justice and human rights and going before the courts of law. You understand? Fair trials and a lot of BS. But don't forget, you understand, when these politicians and these news outlets pushing these kind of things, most of it is just to serve an agenda. Is to support an agenda. Now, we can really talk about the United States for an example. The United States committed a lot of war crimes in Afghanistan. If you remember correctly, when the Guantanamo Bay, they round up some suspects, what they call terrorists, and they flew them off the Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. They occupy in Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, the United States. They have a prison there, a military base. They torture these suspects, and never was no trial, nothing of a sort. No justice, nothing. The United States decided that was good. That was the CIA torture program. And no trial, nothing. They just imprisoned them. And Obama had to admit that the CIA had a torture program. And instead of going on and condemning it and stopping this program, Obama actually defended the CIA and the torture program. Good Obama. And Obama as well had a drones program going on in Afghanistan and Pakistan and Yemen and all of these places in the world, and Syria, where the target people, suspected terrorists, even if there was a gathering with like a wedding or in a hotel or a shopping mall or whatever, the drones will go and just attack and kill these people. Innocent people involved as well, just to get one or two per people. And they call it collateral damage, killing innocent people. And Obama see over that program. So he's a war criminal as well. Joe Biden as well, war criminals. And if in fact, now we talk about the ICC, the US is not a member, but the USA is calling for people to be tried there for war crimes. Now in 2020, President Trump, he put sanctions on the ICC members, the prosecutors, because they started to investigate the United States for war crimes, and they couldn't have that. The so-called justice of democracy and justice. That was really bad. They was going to investigate them about war crimes in Afghanistan and Iraq. They put sanctions on them They can't travel to the United States to do an investigation because all of these people are war criminals. They are no good. Let's move on to China now. China as well. Human rights violations there is very high. They have a poor record on human rights. Religion as for one, religion. The only 5 recognized religions in China. And if you're a believer, you could be in danger if you're living in China. They can round you up and carry you to these so-called RTL, re-education through labor programs. I don't know where to get that from. As in the normal dictionary, it's called labor camps. Labor camps, where you go and do hard labor. And that's China now. So-called good democracy. And in China as well, you don't have a right to a free trial because everything is political. And if you go against the Communist Party, you can be locked away for life or executed if you challenge power. And China doesn't give access to human rights to third parties trying to address human rights in China. They don't give access. They don't have no records of nothing. They deny people access to the prisons and to every place. And if they do, everything is monitored. You have some minors with you inspecting everything. You have minors, people just watching everything you do. And if you was paying carefully too, this guy here disappear. A few more disappear. This guy Jack Ma. I probably pronouncing his name wrong. But anyhow, this man, he owned Alibaba. You know, the big internet online trading company. Alibaba. He owned that. Or he did own it. He founded that company and it was big. And he wanted to change the system, the banking system in China, because it's controlled by the Chinese government, the Communist Party, and it's very corrupt. He wanted to change that. And for even thinking about doing it, he disappeared for a long time. And when he did surface, it was supervised. Like he playing golf and stuff, but he's not smiling and stuff. And he appeared in Hong Kong as well, and to say something, but he have minors around him, and he was too popular for the Communist Party. He was just too popular because then he had a lot of following in China. People love him, and the Chinese people love him, and even the Western world love him as well because he was funny. He was pretty outspoken and stuff, and he gained a lot of popularity, and the Chinese can't have that because he was a threat to power. And if you realize too, racism in China, the COVID-19 pandemic in China exposed the racism against black people in China. Remember when the Chinese people were saying it was the blacks spreading the COVID and stuff? The Chinese government rounded up a lot of black people and put them in hotels and locked them away without adequate food and water. Even when the ones that wasn't locked away had to go to the supermarkets and restaurants, they was denied service due to the fact that there was black. And Chinese people were saying, oh, these are the one that bring the COVID-19 virus in China. Yeah, but when that happened to the Chinese outside of China, they said it was racism. Double standards at its best. And the Africans have started to protest too as well. And the police cracked down on them, brutalized them for protesting. The same thing in China as well too. The police is brutalize people. Everywhere in the world the police is the same. So don't think that it's only China. all over the world. Sweden is the same too. The police is a little better here, I can say, but they still beat you up if they get the opportunity, because most of these things just happen behind closed doors. You don't get to videotape it. When you get to the station, that's where things just happen. And now we move on to Russia. Russia as well, just like China, they crack down on the media. The media and China and Russia just about the same. If you're not broadcasting favors for the government, you're a threat. And you can be closed down. And that's just the way it is. They want to control the narrative. And all governments love that. They love to control the narrative. And that's why at the moment now, the United States government want to control the media so they can control the narrative by saying they have a ministry of information, disinformation, because they want to control the narrative. They want to censor things. They only want you to believe what they want you to believe. It's not good. And these so-called people want to hold individual people of states responsible. Russia as well have a bad human rights record when it comes to violence against women. Really bad. And the police there too is really crack your skull. When now you're talking about police and stuff like that. The Philippines was a member. The Philippines was a member of the ICC, but decided to withdraw. The reason why the ICC was investigated the president, what is his name now? I lost now. But the president of Philippines, this crazy guy, Duterte, I think I get here, Duterte or something like that. I should have researched this, but I going off to my head. But I can get the pronunciation wrong, Duterte or Duterte. I probably can get the pronunciation wrong, but he in power now still. When he get into power, he give the police free range to go and crack down on drug users, resulting in thousands of deaths, police killing. Most of them happen with gunshots. Drug users, people are addicted to drugs. And if you know, drug addiction is a sickness, is a disease. Because when you're addicted to something, you can't control yourself that easy. It's the same as alcohol. You can't control yourself, and for a person to do that or don't have common sense to know that these people, you understand, need help, they're unhuman. They are not a human being. And he did that. And the ICC decided to investigate him for war crimes. He withdraw, and nothing can happen. Nothing can happen to him. They don't have the powers. They can only have powers for membership states. And the big powerful, or if he's a member like Philippines and you decide that you're a member of the ICC and you decided that you're going to be investigated, all you have to do is withdraw and nothing can happen. They don't have the power, the jurisdiction to come after you. So you can't hold people for war crimes. It's impossible. And this thing here, you understand? This thing here about holding people responsible and accountable. United States is one of the biggest violators of human rights. Just look at the black people in America, the police cracking their skull, murdering them as well. The blacks don't have no really rights there. They just exist. But anything happen, the police pull them over search them, shoot them, accuse them for crimes that they haven't committed. Driving while black there, a lot of people, if you've been paying attention to the media, if you're driving while black, there's a high possibility the police, is gonna pull you over. Probably want to search your car, find out if you got any warrants and stuff, just because you're black. The ICC is a really good idea, but it can only work if all of these nations that say that they believe in justice actually sign up. But if they don't sign up or they withdraw, you know, they don't actually believe in justice. It's just a myth. They only use justice and believing in justice when it suits their agenda, when it suits their narrative. That's the only reason why all of these nations around the world do the same stuff. They violate the citizens' human rights. Every day, day in, day out, they violate the citizens' human rights. And all of these so-called justice systems around the world is corrupt. Even here in Sweden. One good example about Sweden that a lot of people don't know. The courts is controlled by the government from top to bottom. And the judge is supposed to be independent, but he is appointed by the politicians. And what America and other nations call a jury, we don't have a jury here. It's called a jury in English, but here the people that's supposed to be a jury is actually old politicians or have affiliation with some political party and just come to the court to make some extra money. And they're all political connected, the court system here. And they don't have a bail system as well here. So if you're accused of a crime, they can lock you up indefinitely until that trial come. And if you're found not guilty, you can hardly go after the government, the court. You can hardly go after them because they deny everything. And they don't really have an appeal system here in Sweden. You can only appeal if it's a criminal case, and I think it's up to 2 years or so in prison. The system is very rigged here to protect the justice system and the government, big business, and just like in America. So if you appeal a case here, for example, the appeal courts could just look and say, we see nothing wrong, and your appeal doesn't go through. And you can appeal to the highest court. After that, they will reject your appeal. And that's what exactly has happened. They just reject the appeal, and you can't do nothing. Case closed. Don't matter how much wrong have been committed. That's in Sweden, so-called land of justice as well. Anyhow, this is probably getting a little too long, so I can call it here. But remember now, the ICC is a really good idea. It's a good organization that we should have in this world if we want peace. But in order for it to work, all member states have to sign up. Everybody need to follow the same rules and regulation if we can have international justice. And without international justice, we don't have a democracy in the world. Anyhow, I want you to like, share, and subscribe, because I need to get some numbers going, because I would like to get this word out to a lot of people. And the only way to do that is to help me out. So take care and be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. And I hear you soon. Bye.